Redox reactions include all chemical reactions in which atoms have their oxidation state changed. In general, redox reactions involve the transfer of electrons between species. This can be either a simple redox process, such as the oxidation of carbon to yield carbon dioxide, CO2, or the reduction of carbon by hydrogen to yield methane, or a complex process such as the oxidation of glucose in the human body through a series of complex electron transfer processes. The term redox comes from two concepts involved with electron transfer: reduction and oxidation. It can be explained in simple terms. Oxidation is the loss of electrons or an increase in oxidation state by a molecule, atom, or ion. Reduction is the gain of electrons or a decrease in oxidation state by a molecule, atom, or ion. Although oxidation reactions are commonly associated with the formation of oxides from oxygen molecules, these are only specific examples of a more general concept of reactions involving electron transfer. Redox reactions, or oxidation-reduction reactions, have a number of similarities to acid-base reactions. Like acid-base reactions, redox reactions are a matched set, that is, there cannot be an oxidation reaction without a reduction reaction happening simultaneously. The oxidation alone and the reduction alone are each called a half reaction, because two half reactions always occur together to form a whole reaction. When writing half reactions, the gained or lost electrons are typically included explicitly in order that the half reaction be balanced with respect to electric charge. Though sufficient for many purposes, these descriptions are not precisely correct. Oxidation and reduction properly refer to a change in oxidation state. The actual transfer of electrons may never occur. Thus, oxidation is better defined as an increase in oxidation state, and reduction as a decrease in oxidation state. In practice, the transfer of electrons will always cause a change in oxidation state, but there are many reactions that are classed as redox even though no electron transfer occurs. Etymology: redox is a portmanteau of reduction and oxidation. The word oxidation originally implied reaction with oxygen to form an oxide, since dioxygen was historically the first recognized oxidizing agent. Later, the term was expanded to encompass oxygen-like substances that accomplished parallel chemical reactions. Ultimately, the meaning was generalized to include all processes involving loss of electrons. The word reduction originally referred to the loss in weight upon heating a metallic ore such as a metal oxide to extract the metal. In other words, ore was reduced to metal. Antoine Lavoisier showed that this loss of weight was due to the loss of oxygen as a gas. Later, scientists realized that the metal atom gains electrons in this process. The meaning of reduction then became generalized to include all processes involving gain of electrons. Even though reduction seems counterintuitive when speaking of the gain of electrons, it might help to think of reduction as the loss of oxygen, which was its historical meaning. The electrochemist John Bockris has used the words electronation and delectronation to describe reduction and oxidation processes respectively when they occur at electrodes. These words are analogous to protonation and deprotonation, but they have not been widely adopted by chemists. The term hydrogenation could be used instead of reduction, since hydrogen is the reducing agent in a large number of reactions, especially in organic chemistry and biochemistry. But, unlike oxidation, which has been generalized beyond its root element, hydrogenation has maintained its specific connection to reactions that add hydrogen to another substance. Oxidizing and reducing agents: in redox processes, the reductant transfers electrons to the oxidant. Thus, in the reaction, the reductant or reducing agent loses electrons and is oxidized, and the oxidant or oxidizing agent gains electrons and is reduced. The pair of an oxidizing and reducing agent that are involved in a particular reaction is called a redox pair. A redox couple is a reducing species and its corresponding oxidized form, for example, Fe2+/Fe3+. Oxidizers. Substances that have the ability to oxidize other substances are said to be oxidative or oxidizing and are known as oxidizing agents, oxidants, or oxidizers. That is, the oxidant removes electrons from another substance, and is thus itself reduced. And, because it accepts electrons, the oxidizing agent is also called an electron acceptor, hence the name. Oxygen is the quintessential oxidizer. Oxidants are usually chemical substances with elements in high oxidation states, for example, H2O, 2, MnOA, 4, CrO, 3, Cr, 2O2, 7, Ozo, 4, or else highly electronegative elements that can gain extra electrons by oxidizing another substance. Reducers. Substances that have the ability to reduce other substances are said to be reductive or reducing and are known as reducing agents, reductants, or reducers. The reductant transfers electrons to another substance, and is thus itself oxidized. And, because it donates electrons, the reducing agent is also called an electron donor. Electron donors can also form charge transfer complexes with electron acceptors. Reductants in chemistry are very diverse. Electropositive elemental metals, such as lithium, sodium, magnesium, iron, zinc, and aluminium, are good reducing agents. These metals donate or give away electrons readily. Hydride transfer reagents, such as NAB4 and LiAlH4, are widely used in organic chemistry, primarily in the reduction of carbonyl compounds to alcohols. Another method of reduction involves the use of hydrogen gas with a palladium, platinum, or nickel catalyst. These catalytic reductions are used primarily in the reduction of carbon-carbon double or triple bonds. Standard electrode potentials. Each half reaction has a standard electrode potential, which is equal to the potential difference at equilibrium under standard conditions of an electrochemical cell in which the cathode reaction is the half reaction considered, and the anode is a standard hydrogen electrode where hydrogen is oxidized, a 1/2 H2H++ E. The electrode potential of each half reaction is also known as its reduction potential EO red, or potential when the half reaction takes place at a cathode. The reduction potential is a measure of the tendency of the oxidizing agent to be reduced. Its value is 0 for H++ AAA 1/2 H2 by definition, positive for oxidizing agents stronger than H+ and negative for oxidizing agents that are weaker than H+. For a redox reaction that takes place in a cell, the potential difference EO cell equals EO cathode or EO anode. However, the potential of the reaction at the anode was sometimes expressed as an oxidation potential, EO-ox equals a EO. The oxidation potential is a measure of the tendency of the reducing agent to be oxidized, but does not represent the physical potential at an electrode. With this notation, the cell voltage equation is written with a plus sign. EO cell equals EO cathode plus EO-ox. Examples of redox reactions. A good example is the reaction between hydrogen and fluorine in which hydrogen is being oxidized and fluorine is being reduced, H2 plus F, to a 2HF. We can write this overall reaction as two half reactions, the oxidation reaction, H, to a 2H plus 2A, and the reduction reaction, F, 2 plus 2A 2FR. Analyzing each half reaction in isolation can often make the overall chemical process clearer. Because there is no net change in charge during a redox reaction, the number of electrons in excess in the oxidation reaction must equal the number consumed by the reduction reaction. Elements, even in molecular form, always have an oxidation state of 0. In the first half reaction, hydrogen is oxidized from an oxidation state of 0 to an oxidation state of +1. In the second half reaction, fluorine is reduced from an oxidation state of 0 to an oxidation state of 1. When adding the reactions together, the electrons are cancelled, and the ions combine to form hydrogen fluoride, 2H++ 2Fa 2HF. The overall reaction is H2 plus F, 2 a 2HF. Metal displacement. In this type of reaction, a metal atom in a compound is replaced by an atom of another metal. For example, copper is deposited when zinc metal is placed in a copper, sulfate solution, Zn, S, plus Cu-SO4, Ac, as Zn-SO4, Ac, plus Cu, S. In the above reaction, zinc metal displaces the copper, ion from copper sulfate solution and thus liberates free copper metal. The ionic equation for this reaction is Zn plus Cu2 plus a Zn2 plus Cu. As two half reactions, it is seen that the zinc is oxidized, Zn is Zn2 plus 2a, and the copper is reduced, Cu2 plus 2a Cu. Other examples, the reduction of nitrate to nitrogen in the presence of an acid. 2NO3 a plus 10a plus 12 hours plus An2 plus 6 hours 2O. The combustion of hydrocarbons, such as in an internal combustion engine, which produces water, carbon dioxide, some partially oxidized forms such as carbon monoxide, and heat energy. Complete oxidation of materials containing carbon produces carbon dioxide. In organic chemistry, the stepwise oxidation of a hydrocarbon by oxygen produces water and, successively, an alcohol, an aldehyde or a ketone, a carboxylic acid, and then a peroxide. Corrosion and rusting. The term corrosion refers to the electrochemical oxidation of metals in reaction with an oxidant such as oxygen. Rusting, the formation of iron oxides, is a well-known example of electrochemical corrosion. It forms as a result of the oxidation of iron metal. Common rust often refers to iron, oxide, formed in the following chemical reaction. 4 Fe plus 3O2 or 2 Fe2O3. The oxidation of iron, to iron, by hydrogen peroxide in the presence of an acid. Fe2 plus a Fe3 plus A, H2O2 plus 2A or 2O. Overall equation. 2 Fe2 plus H2O2 plus 2 hours plus a 2 Fe3 plus 2 hours 2O. Redox reactions in industry. Cathodic protection is a technique used to control the corrosion of a metal surface by making it the cathode of an electrochemical cell. A simple method of protection connects protected metal to a more easily corroded sacrificial anode to act as the anode. The sacrificial metal instead of the protected metal, then, corrodes. A common application of cathodic protection is in galvanized steel, in which a sacrificial coating of zinc on steel parts protects them from rust. The primary process of reducing ore at high temperature to produce metals is known as smelting. Oxidation is used in a wide variety of industries such as in the production of cleaning products and oxidizing ammonia to produce nitric acid, which is used in most fertilizers. Redox reactions are the foundation of electrochemical cells. The process of electroplating uses redox reactions to coat objects with a thin layer of a material, as in chrome-plated automotive parts, silver-plating cutlery, and gold-plated jewelry. The production of compact discs depends on a redox reaction, which coats the disc with a thin layer of metal film. Redox reactions in biology. Many important biological processes involve redox reactions. Cellular respiration, for instance, is the oxidation of glucose to CO2 and the reduction of oxygen to water. The summary equation for cell respiration is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 is 6CO2 plus 6 hours 2O. The process of cell respiration also depends heavily on the reduction of NAD plus to NADH and the reverse reaction. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration are complementary, but photosynthesis is not the reverse of the redox reaction in cell respiration. 6CO2 plus 6 hours 2O plus light energy is C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Biological energy is frequently stored and released by means of redox reactions. Photosynthesis involves the reduction of carbon dioxide into sugars and the oxidation of water into molecular oxygen. The reverse reaction, respiration, oxidizes sugars to produce carbon dioxide and water. As intermediate steps, the reduced carbon compounds are used to reduce nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, which then contributes to the creation of a proton gradient, which drives the synthesis of adenosine triphosphate and is maintained by the reduction of oxygen. In animal cells, mitochondria perform similar functions. See the membrane potential article. Free radical reactions are redox reactions that occur as a part of homeostasis and killing microorganisms, where an electron detaches from a molecule and then reattaches almost instantaneously. Free radicals are a part of redox molecules and can become harmful to the human body if they do not reattach to the redox molecule or an antioxidant. unsatisfied free radicals can spur the mutation of cells they encounter and are, thus, causes of cancer. The term redox state is often used to describe the balance of GSH-GSSG, NAD+/NADH and NADP+/NADPH in a biological system such as a cell or organ. The redox state is reflected in the balance of several sets of metabolites, whose interconversion is dependent on these ratios. An abnormal redox state can develop in a variety of deleterious situations, such as hypoxia, shock, and sepsis. Redox mechanism also controls some cellular processes. Redox proteins and their genes must be co-located for redox regulation according to the Coora hypothesis for the function of DNA in mitochondria and chloroplasts. Redox cycling, a wide variety of aromatic compounds are enzymatically reduced to form free radicals that contain one more electron than their parent compounds. In general, the electron donor is any of a wide variety of flavoenzymes and their coenzymes. Once formed, these anion free radicals reduce molecular oxygen to superoxide, and regenerate the unchanged parent compound. The net reaction is the oxidation of the flavoenzymes' coenzymes and the reduction of molecular oxygen to form superoxide. This catalytic behavior has been described as futile cycle or redox cycling. Examples of redox cycling inducing molecules are the herbicide paraquat and other viologens and quinins such as menadian. Redox reactions in geology. In geology, redox is important to both the formation of minerals and the mobilization of minerals, and is also important in some depositional environments. In general, the redox state of most rocks can be seen in the color of the rock. The rock forms in oxidizing conditions, giving it a red color. It is then bleached to a greener or sometimes whiter form when a reducing fluid passes through the rock. The reduced fluid can also carry uranium-bearing minerals. Famous examples of redox conditions affecting geological processes include uranium deposits and Mockria marbles. Balancing redox reactions, describing the overall electrochemical reaction for a redox process requires a balancing of the component half reactions for oxidation and reduction. In general, for reactions in aqueous solution, this involves adding H+, OR, H2O, and electrons to compensate for the oxidation changes. Acidic media. In acidic media, H+ ions and water are added to half reactions to balance the overall reaction. For instance, when manganese, reacts with sodium bismutate. The reaction is balanced by scaling the two half-cell reactions to involve the same number of electrons, 8H, 2O, L, plus 2Mn2+, Ac, a 2MnOA, 4, Ac, plus 16 hours plus, Ac, plus 10A, 10A plus 30H plus 5BOA, 3, S, A5B3 plus, Ac, plus 15 hours, 2O, L. Adding these two reactions eliminates the electrons terms and yields the balanced reaction, 14H plus, Ac, plus 2Mn2 plus, Ac, plus 5 NaBO, 3, S, A7 hours, 2O, L, plus 2MnOA, 4, Ac, plus 5B3 plus, Ac, plus 5 Na plus, Ac, basic media. In basic media, OA ions and water are added to half reactions to balance the overall reaction. For example, in the reaction between potassium permanganate and sodium sulfate. Balancing the number of electrons in the two half-cell reactions gives 6A plus 4 hours, 2O plus 2MnO, 4AA 2MnO, 2 plus 8OA, 6OA plus 3SO, 32AA 3SO, 42A plus 3 hours, 2O plus 6A. Adding these two half-cell reactions together gives the balanced equation, 2KMnO, 4 plus 3 Na, 2SO, 3 plus H, 2OA 2MnO, 2 plus 3 Na, 2SO, 4 plus 2KOH. Memory aids. The key terms involved in redox are often confusing to students. For example, an element that is oxidized loses electrons. However, that element is referred to as the reducing agent. Likewise, an element that is reduced gains electrons and is referred to as the oxidizing agent. Acronyms or mnemonics are commonly used to help remember what is happening, Oil or Ig Euro oxidation is loss of electrons, reduction is gain of electrons. Leo the lion says GR Euro loss of electrons is oxidation, gain of electrons is reduction. Leora says GROA Euro loss of electrons is oxidation, gain of electrons is reduction. Red cat, and ANOX, or anox red cat, a Euro reduction occurs at the cathode and the anode is for oxidation. See also. References. External links, Chemical Equation Balancer, an open-source chemical equation balancer that handles redox reactions. Video, Synthesis of Copper, 2, Acetate February 20, 2009, Redox Reactions Calculator, Redox Reactions at Guide, Online Redox Reaction Equation Balancer, balances equations of any half-cell and full reactions.